Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we forever thank Allah for His coming to the black man and woman in the hells of North America in the person of Master Fard Muhammad and raising in our midst the Messiah, the Christ, the eternal leader of the nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank them both for the Jesus in our midst, our light-giving son, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I greet my beloved brothers and sisters in the words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Dearest classmates, today is June the 19th, 2020. On this day, in 1865, the Union Army finally forced its way into the state of Texas 2.5 years after Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Major General Gordon Granger issued a federal order from Galveston, Texas headquarters, which read in its opening, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free." Now, by this time, the Confederacy under General Robert E. Lee had already surrendered in Richmond, Virginia. There had been a total of more than 200,000 black soldiers who had enlisted and fought in the Union Army and were a powerful factor in why the Union Army was able to defeat the South rebels. But out in the West, the rebel army was still holding out. And in fact, since the capture of New Orleans in 1862, slave owners in Mississippi and Louisiana had been migrating to Texas, taking their slaves with them. They were trying to escape the reach of the Union Army. More than 150,000 black people were forced to make that journey on foot. Of course, emancipation did not just happen because something was read, but June the 19th is the day that black people in Texas were told they were free, and many literally walked off the plantations. Even though they had no idea how they would survive, many did not even know where they were. There were no interstate highways, no GPS. What they had on their mind was finding family members they had been separated from. According to narratives from our ancestors, they were terrorized, they were murdered. One woman named Susan Merritt reported countless black bodies hanging from trees after being ambushed while trying to cross a river. But despite the horrors that were experienced, black men and women of Texas transformed June the 19th into one of the most inspiring events of the post-Civil War period, into an annual celebration just 1 year later in 1866. So what stands out here is the burning desire of our ancestors to distance themselves from white people at no matter what cost. The quest for the illusion called integration has all but destroyed us, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad warned us it would do. Thanks to the dedication and the willingness to lay down his life in obedience to his teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, his best student, has been maligned and vilified for decades and has never backed down 1 inch from forcing the truth down America's throat. And Allah and his Christ have backed him all the way. And now we are actually living to witness Allah and His Christ back that truth in the physical manifestation of the events that are taking place. We cannot measure the grace and the love we are being shown in having the minister still among us, a light-giving sun. Tell everyone to tune in on July 4th to NOI.org to hear his message, The Criterion. This time last Friday, Rayshard Brooks, a black 27-year-old married father of 3, was alive and looking forward to a continuing bright future. Now he is dead at the hands of 2 white Atlanta police officers, yet another state-sponsored murder in the midst of protests. I would just lift a few words from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that are in your current digital edition of the Final Call newspaper from the Fall of America. Quote, Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom be praised forever, now judges the American whites and is causing America's fall and total destruction. The whole civilized world today, as prophesied by Isaiah, is against the white man of America. Allah hates the wicked American whites and threatens to remove them from the face of the earth. There is a general awakening of the darker people into the knowledge of self and the knowledge of their age-old enemies all over the earth. The problem of the American black man is his unwillingness to be separated from his 400-year-old enemy. The problem, therefore, is harder to solve, especially with the enemy trying to fascinate the Negro with his lower-class girls and women, arraying them partly nude in every public news medium, and the Negro is quick to imitate. By no means are the so-called Negroes and the whites kin. God did not create them ever to become brothers. We want separation. We want a home on this earth to call our own. We want to go for self and leave the enemy who has been sentenced to death by Allah from the day he was created. Please, brothers and sisters, read this article in your digital edition of the Final Call newspaper in its entirety. Now let us get to our study. You received your assignment via email earlier this week as we continue the powerful and precisely on-time study guide 16, The Law of God. And we have a very short window of time before all hell breaks loose. Allah willing, I will finish going through Brother Minister Jabril's column next week. I want to make, and I'm very happy to make, an announcement. And I want to thank so much the self-improvement team here in Chicago. And I will read to you a letter we sent to you yesterday, June the 18th. Assalamu alaikum, dear fellow students. We are so excited to welcome you to our launch of a national study group this week via Zoom. We encourage everyone to use their video cameras. We must request that if you join this Zoom meeting, that you dress appropriately, as if you were attending the mosque in person on a Friday night study group. This does not require a uniform, a regulation garment, a suit and tie. It just means you need to be neat and modest and proper attire. Please register today via the link below to reserve your spot for tomorrow's online self-improvement, the Basis for Community Development Study Group. We are scheduled to start 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you sign into Zoom early so that we can work out any possible technical issues. Now, when you pull this letter up in your email, and hopefully there are still slots, then you will see the link to the meeting to register. And after you register for the meeting, you will receive a confirmation email containing information about how to join the Zoom meeting. Once you join, you will be placed in a waiting room briefly and brought into the study group at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We really look forward to your valuable participation in the discussion. And, of course, I did not read the letter accurately. I began giving you more of an explanation conversationally. But as we move forward, we will expand our ability to accommodate you. May Allah bless us all with love and the light of understanding. As I leave you in peace, Assalamu alaikum.